And this is a topic that I haven't had the chance to really dig into deep until now, which is why I wanted you on the pod, because I knew you were the expert to go there. And you sort of blend the Western and the metaphysical, if you will, the physical and the metaphysical into one, which I think is beautiful. You are a medium. Is that the best way to put it? And then for people that don't know, like, what is, maybe they know a little bit about it, but let's cut through the myths and misconceptions.
Okay. So I have different roles. I'm a therapist, I'm a medium, and I have my doctorate in divinity. So I work with children who have near-death experiences. How I became a medium, what a medium is. So a medium is someone who is able to connect to the spirit realm,
Mm-hmm.
and also can connect to intuition quite easily. So, how does health connect with that? Well, when you're intuitive, you understand, especially when you're looking at your intuitive being, you
Mm-hmm.
understand your body more. You
Yeah.
get the signs and the signals much quicker than if you're not. And if you're
Yeah.
paying attention and learn how to do that, you can keep yourself in a more well position,
Yeah.
emotionally, physically, and spiritually. As a medium, I connect into people's loved ones. I'm a grief and addiction therapist, so I've been doing that all of my life, and so it seemed right, that I would step into something else that would be healing for people.
How long was the spirit world, the sort of spiritual side of life, how long has that been a part of your life that you knew? Obviously, it's a part of life for everyone, whether they notice it or not. But how long have you had an awareness of your connection to it?
At 4.5 years old, I was right on the edge of five. I got locked in an unplugged freezer in a garage. It was
Mm.
quite a profound experience. I was in there a very long time. I shouldn't be here and I shouldn't have a brain, if I was. I mean, I really like it should have
Wow.
shut down. Um, and when I came back from that experience, I could see spirits everywhere. And I was actually terrified. Even though I'd seen them on the other side, I was terrified. I thought they were there like the boogeyman because I was so little.
Hmm.
And then I would cover my head and say, go away, go away. And they didn't go away. And so I adapted to it like we adapt to everything in our lives. And as time went on, it became my abnormally normal. And I just kept flowing from there. I wasn't aware that it was different. I have to say that. It just felt like the boogeyman. Every kid knows the boogeyman, right? And then when it became normal to me, I wasn't aware it was different until it became personal. My
Hmm.
Nana died and I was in my late teens, and I was married, late teens, and I was laying in bed, and she came to me, and I didn't know she had crossed. And the next day I found out. So
Hmm.
that was so shocking to me that I actually called UCLA Medical Center. They were doing ESP work and they
Mm.
were just starting it, because, this was many, many years ago. And the guy said to me, well, you sound like what we call a medium and we're investigating that, and I said, what's that? And he said, those are people who talk to the dead. And I went, what? And I hung up and I never spoke of it for almost 5 years.
From your perspective, some people have this gift, this sixth sense, some people don't, or do you feel like it's all of our skill set? It's whether we have it strengthened or in tune to it or not?
I think everyone has the ability. Whether they're going to use it in this lifetime is between them and the spirit world and their contracts. So some people have it and use it very little. And some people have it and don't want anything to do with it. And that includes intuition. We all have intuitive abilities.
Hmm.
If we tapped into it instead of using fear as the basis to deflect it on,
Hmm.
we would actually be in a much better position. But, as I said earlier, mind, body, and spirit. The heart actually talks to the brain more than the brain talks to the heart. The heart is actually in more control. And if the soul is seating in there,
Hmm.
it makes sense to us that we want to listen to what our soul's telling us so that we can
Hmm.
be, it goes through the heart space and comes to us as intuition.
Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit on the pod. Is this sort of heart resonance and heart math and the research around that sort of emotional intelligence and resonance and how that's impacting our brain, not the other way around. In many ways, it's bidirectional, right? And many people, as we used, as we in functional medicine call the gut the second brain. Well, research to show the heart is really the second brain, if you will, an aspect, right, of that whole line down
Yes.
the center of our body. Okay, this is fascinating. What do you say to somebody that is that's skeptical.
I get it because I doubt it sometimes too. I get it. We have a human brain and we think and we analyze. And if we analyze something and it's not tangible to us, we deny it. If you think about the difficulties that they may have to get it across to us, that's important to remember.
Hmm.
And our difficulty in not getting inside our heads and just
Hmm.
allowing it to be there for us. So
Hmm.
it's not a perfect science. And,
Hmm.
unfortunately, I don't think anything is perfect in science. And definitely it makes sense. But if you're skeptical, that's okay. I'm skeptical too sometimes.
Hmm.
It's okay to be a skeptic, and you should be.
Hmm.
But I have this one thing I want to say about that. People say to me, what you can't see it. And I said, you can't see tomorrow either, but you know it's coming. Even if you're not on the planet, you know tomorrow's coming.
Hmm.
That's the
Well,
universal energy.
yeah, yeah. What do you say to the person that is maybe grew up in a traditional religious home? They're more conservative, religious, spiritually, if you will, and they think all this they were taught in church. They read in the Old Testament in the Bible where they talk about, mediums are bad and these are like bad things that we wouldn't shouldn't go to. What do you say? Do you have anything to say to that perspective?
I do. So in Corinthians, it also talks about my brothers and sisters, I give you these gifts. The gift of sight, the gift of knowing who you're speaking to that's crossed to the other side, the gift of
Hmm.
intuition, the gift of prophecy, etc. So we skip over that. That's always skipped over, and people
Yeah.
always go to the dark side. So if you're interested in reading about that, I believe it's Corinthians 7, if I'm getting it right. Corinthians 1, 7, I believe. But it's important to, if you are someone who believes in the Bible and has come from that place of learning that this is evil, it's okay. It's okay if you have that
Hmm.
belief system. We have to honor every single belief system there is. But please know that there is nothing evil about someone healing their grief. And
Hmm.
a true medium is actually in a healer mode. We're holding space for people who are in pain, and we help them connect to their loved one to let them know that they haven't left them, that
Hmm.
love doesn't die. They want to know you, that you're okay, that they want to be near you as much as you want to be near them. They love you as much as you love them.
Hmm.
And so, that doesn't leave us. So that's a really beautiful experience to have when someone comes in my office and their arms are crossed and my wife dragged me in here and I don't believe this at all. I already know the spirit realm's going to go zoop right into them, and they do. And that same person will walk out sobbing. You couldn't have known that conversation. You couldn't have known those things. I believe. I don't even
Hmm.
know how to feel right now because religiously I'm not supposed to. It's supposed to be evil. And but
Hmm.
yet here I am.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I honor that they feel that way, but I'd love for them to go deeper into the truth of understanding
Right.
of what, we were gifted with.
Right. And I think that, like, you brought up a good point. Like, the context around some of these things are cherry picked and taken out of context in the original intent. And as you said, at many spiritual traditions, Christian and otherwise, talk about prophecy and getting that inner knowing. But would you say that there probably is, to take that perspective, probably some light and some dark people that could probably relay that message? Is that a fair assessment, and maybe having discernment on who you're getting this information from?
Oh, absolutely, because I truly believe that evil exists in the minds of mankind.
Hmm.